So I think it's proper to explain to everybody why I frequently speak in allegory. And it's because nothing can be observed directly. You can't directly observe anything. You can't see what something actually is. It's kind of like the way people perceive themselves. And this has to do with the last video that I just made on forced perspective. And this is I guess this would be a part 2 to that, to give it a little deeper idea of observation of what things are. And it has to do with what you think of yourself. If you think you're the skin suit, if you think that you're the physical object you're walking around in, you're very highly mistaken, because you existed as a fire, a ball of energy, a spirit. And that is what's encased in this body. And so the way that I speak about allegorical concepts and speaking through, this is seeing through the map but knowing that you're eating the meal. This is the concept of why I speak on feasting and fasting. It's observation of a landscape and then putting yourself in it and experiencing whatever it might be. And it really is an encompassing concept of how it is that people can observe something. If you observe something directly, if I point at this tree and I say, "Look at this tree," you'll look at it and you might go, "Oh, that's wood there." But if you observe the whole tree as an entirety, because to observe the tree, you'd literally have to observe the landscape around it. You'd have to see the street, or the cars that are rolling by, or the telephone wires. Like, it's part and parcel of the entire experience. So when people get too definitive and defined, and what exactly is that, they've lost the entire experience. And by directly observing something, you lose the experience of what allegory does. Meaning, all stories are told in a way to point to something without directly pointing at it. This even gets into cinematography and film work, and breaking the the fourth wall or the third wall. I forget what it's called. I don't know film too well, but I know how it works. To look in directly to the camera. It doesn't happen too often to break down that wall, so you become too observant of the event of what they're trying to tell you. And so when you speak to people, when you look at things, which you always have to do, this actually has to do with let's go a little deeper. This is acupuncture. This is why reflexology works. This is why the body functions in a holographic reference point to something. This is why you can heal something in your organs inside of your body by placing your finger somewhere on someone's foot. It's magic. It's misdirection. It's magic in a psychological way, and it's also magic in a real way, but it's always misdirection. Misdirection is allegory to cause observation of the entire spectrum of reality. So I could tell you about a bank with money in it, but I'm really talking about the energy flowing through you, or a river maybe, yes? See, there's so many ways to explain how your mind works. And if I say your mind works like a computer, then you'll think of ones and zeros. And that's not the truth. It's the computer is an allegory for the mind, but only one of them. It's not a direct linkage. Just like when I explain things to people, there can't be this linear process. It always gets back into linear masculine processing of thinking that one thing causes another, when it really doesn't work that way, because we fail to realize the actual causation of any event. We don't know, and we will never know. And this is the whole thing. You'll never know how a seed actually births itself or borns itself. It's like to bore something, to dig down. This is where the word born comes from. This is why no one's really birthed. The ship is birthed, but you're born. This is why something burrows or borrows, or it bores itself into the earth. So the implantation of an idea goes into the darkness, and creation occurs in darkness, meaning creation occurs in your mind right now, and it creates a reality a day from now, 2 days from now, 10 days from now. But you don't know how that unfolds. You don't get to know that. You don't get to know how a seed becomes a flower. You don't understand how that works. You can't know how that works. Because if you know, and when you do know, then it would be too powerful. You would get bored with it. And so you'll learn how seeds grow and how thoughts form ideas, and those ideas turn into events, and those events turn into people, and people turn into, what's up, buddy? Certain things that come into your local environment of your observation, meaning just like I was talking about the tree. And as we step away from staring at this forced perspective of observation of what a tree is and see the whole thing for what it is, we can start to get a landscape and a map of where we live, what we're looking at, what our mind is, and how things unfold. It's an unfoldment and an unfurlment of beliefs and ideas and attractions and magnetism and electricity and all of these things that we have inside of us that bring us, or we walk into certain types of events and ideas and places and people, and we interact with these things. And the way to teach this, it's very easy to say directly. Directly, it's like this. You think it, and you think about it, you dream about it, you hold that idea, it becomes reality. There it is. That's all it is. That's all you need to know. That's all. That's the whole thing. But nobody can accept that because we've been blinded by this is the whole thing of blinded by the light. We've blinded ourselves by the light that we actually created. If we knew that we created the lights, then you see, then you wouldn't be wary of what you were getting, because you would know the source of it, which is yourself and your imagination and ideas. But in the interim, the way to explain this to people is through allegory. We can explain the flow of the river. We can explain what something is, what we're looking at in front of us as a table, and its purpose and its uses. And then what we'll realize is that the purpose of something is only allegorical to the purpose of something else. See, I can explain a table, but I might not be talking about the table. I might be talking about what the table's purpose is. I might be talking about a garbage can, and you might think it's a receptacle for garbage. And there's so many ways of explaining these. It's always holographic references for something. I could be talking about a garbage can and really be telling you about cancer and what your body does with things that you don't need. And I could talk about the blood and tell you about, well, if your blood is dirty, it's like the streets of New Orleans, the dirty, filthy streets on Bourbon Street, and where everything goes. And but they have a cleanup crew, which is akin to your white blood cells. And so we can get all this and we can explain it this way. But hopefully you guys collect a little information on these allegories. We'll talk soon. Cheers.